Yep. Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. This weekend, the Houston Texans are going to be taking on the Carolina Panthers at home, second home game of the year. However, instead of facing quarterback Cam Newton, the former, the former MVP, they're going to be facing a second-year pro in Kyle Allen, who's actually an undrafted rookie in 2018. Should be an easy day for the defense, but we'll get into all that later. First things first, what I want to do is kind of recap some of the game from this past Sunday against the Chargers. Texans pulled out a 27-20 win. Great job. Always a great performance whenever you can get a W. Couple things that I want to acknowledge is the second half performance that happened. Even though the Texans went into halftime down 17-7, they actually came out in the second half and held the Chargers just to 3 points. So they went on a 20-3 run. Two of those touchdowns coming in the third quarter. A touchdown run by Carlos Hyde. Another touchdown actually being thrown to Jordan Akins. Probably my favorite touchdown of the day was the one to Fails. Excuse me. Yes. Actually, Akins. Again, I'm mixing my notes up here. To Jordan Akins. He goes in for a touchdown when the ball was actually about to. Excuse me. Yeah, when the ball was actually about to. Yeah, when the pocket actually broke down. Excuse me. So yeah, pocket breaks about to break down. Watson escapes, and he just finds Akins, who just kind of scampers his way in for a touchdown, all the way in. So yeah, fails is in the second quarter. So glad I took notes on that. But anyway, yeah, that was definitely my favorite touchdown. Just showing that Watson still can use his mobility whenever he can, and obviously not just really go for the play on his own, but able to find open receivers down the field. So we'll actually get into all that. Great performance in the second half. Glad the offense was able to kind of just break it open in the third quarter and just put those touchdowns on the board. A couple things. One more thing I wanted to talk about. And coming from that game, and Reed was just getting. I don't know what it was, man. He was either gassed or just all types of hurt. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I think he left the game probably like 2 or 3 times. But he's healthy going into this weekend's matchup. Amenahu, hope I said that name right. He had an injury as well, but he's been able to like get some practice time in this week. So hopefully he'll be good to go. Against his rookie quarterback that we'll be facing. So with that being said, man, let's just go right ahead into the joint. So yeah. A few keys to winning this game. As I mentioned before, Texans are taking on the Carolina Panthers, and they won't be facing a former MVP in Cam Newton, who's currently out with an injury. So they'll have Kyle Allen to actually be in here, and it's going to be Allen's third career start. So not a lot of experience. Obviously, pretty much a rookie by those standards. But for the most part, he hasn't done too bad. He won on say Friday for whatever. He won last week against the Arizona Cardinals, but hey, it's the Arizona Cardinals. But other than that, I mean, a couple of things was that I've noticed or that jumped out to me is that you look pretty comfortable in the pocket. So I really wouldn't want to take him lightly as far as like this game. We got to approach it like, Cam Newton is, coming to play us or, any other quarterbacks coming to play us. We really got to bring the intensity to them. So, with that being said, three things Texans need to do in order to win this game. So, number one, Watson has to get rid of this football quickly. So I talked about the play to Akins, where he, kind of where the pocket was breaking down, and Watson just kind of, got away from it, and he found Akins on that catch and run. So one of the things about Carolina that kind of stood out when I was like kind of looking at this team. Um, they're second in the league in sacks. I didn't know if anybody kind of knew that, but yeah, they're actually not so much sacks, but pass defense. So yeah, they give up like I think 167 yards or something like that. They're pretty much up there as far as like pass defense, but also in addition to pass defense, they're a top five sack team. So with that, I just kind of based it off coverage sacks. To be honest with you, just watching them play against Arizona, it didn't look like they were getting like a lot of pass rush on Kyler Murray. In fact, um, whenever they would try to like actually, at a pocket breaking down, Murray was already pretty much gone, and that kind of speaks to how Murray is as a mobile quarterback. But at the same time, we have our own mobile quarterback, obviously. So I definitely think this is something that we can kind of like move around and just neutralize, and that would be just kind of getting rid of the football whenever they're whenever their pass rush is coming in. Another thing that kind of deducted the whole coverage sack theory was I was watching a couple of plays from the Tampa Bay game that they had, and there was this one play where they sacked Jameis, and it just looked like Jameis was just completely looking down the field, and he had all the time. It seemed like he had all the time in the world at first, but as he was just standing there, the D lineman was just whooping up on the O line guy, and he just pretty much sacked Jameis, while he was sitting there like a statue. So um, definitely, if anything, Watson has to keep his eyes down the field, look for an open receiver. If he cannot find an open receiver, then definitely look for the check down options first. If Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson, they've both been some great assets in the passing game as far as coming out of the backfield and receiving. So definitely look for those guys on that option. And if anything, if you have to run, just run when you have to. Really, don't put your body on the line like that, because Luke Kuechly is out there, and so you don't want to have those problems too early in the game. So definitely, better. Watson has to be quicker about the decision what he wants to do with the football. So he has to be quicker in deciding what he wants to do with the football, whether it's throw to a check down, whether it's run with it, or whether it's get out the pocket to throw it away. So definitely with that. Number two, the defense has to monitor McCaffrey. This guy's their best offensive weapon, pretty much. He can run the ball. Obviously, he can definitely receive the ball. So he'll catch a little mid crossing route or something, or just something in the flat, and probably take it another 10 yards if he can. So definitely kind of just know where he is at all times, and make sure he's not in a position to make any type of big play. Another thing is, McCaffrey is like second in the league in rushing right now. So yes, early in the season, most of the teams have only played like only 3 games. So, but still, the fact that he's like second in the league in rushing right now, that could set the precedent for, that pretty much just sets the precedent of the kind of work he's been doing these past 3 weeks. So it's something that the defense definitely has to prepare for, and just kind of amp up on whenever he's lined up to run that ball. And also, last thing, number 3, do not underestimate the other weapons. So Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. Just do not underestimate those guys, especially Moore. He's just as dangerous as McCaffrey. Sometimes they'll put him on like a reverse play and he'll rush for about a good 10 yards or so or get a first down on, any short yardage plays. But he can definitely catch the ball, as he is a receiver. But, he's probably like one of the more better receivers that the Panthers have had in a long time. I mean, before they had Kelvin Benjamin, but he just kind of screwed off his whole career for whatever reason. But Moore, he really does seem like the real deal. So, and to top that off, Moore and other guy Curtis Samuel, they seem comfortable with Kyle Allen. So that's another thing that just kind of take note of. A lot of times when a backup quarterback comes in, it's obviously because they didn't get the reps with the first team. So this they're probably going to be a little bit choppy with the first team guys and all that stuff. But yeah, Kyle Allen was he was hitting these dudes up. He was hitting these guys in stride. Like it wasn't nothing. So I think in fact against the Cardinals, Moore had like a huge play on a post route. So definitely they're not afraid to go down the field, which we need to I'm going to say we need to go ahead and anticipate that because they're definitely going to challenge our secondary, considering how it's been playing over the past few weeks, and just for the fact that that they probably think that we're thinking this is just a close to being a rookie quarterback or just some young quarterback that doesn't really have that much experience and he's going to make mistakes, so they're going to test us just to see how we are treating this. And also Greg Olsen, he can be a safety net when needed for Allen. So of course, you see it with Lamar Jackson. He was, chunking the ball to his tight ends like every other play or whatever. So definitely the same can be said for Allen. He's a young quarterback. He's still trying to make his way through the system at least. And, also, who knows, this might actually, depending on, how Cam's career goes, it might actually be Allen's job. But definitely we do not need to underestimate any of those receivers or weapons that they have. We need to treat them, just as we need to treat them like professionals. So don't expect for them to come out and just be lackadaisical or just immediately give up. It's still early in the season. They're probably trying to make a playoff run on their own, so they're definitely going to give us their best shot. So, that being said, man, three things Texans need to do to win this game this week. Watson needs to choose what to do with the football real quickly. And Caffrey needs to be monitored. Make sure that he's not in a position to make any type of explosive plays. And also do not underestimate the other weapons that the Panthers have. Texans can do that. They'll definitely walk away with this game with a win, second home win of the year. And, things will be good to go. So, with that being said, I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.